Hey, what's up, everybody? Widgie checking in for another court chat. Today, just kind of wanted to touch base on this emotional safe space and how emotional intelligence helps in any kind of connection. And none of us are ever really trained in this. Specifically, the older generations, we never had a safe space. We had to cope, deal, and move on through stuff. Like I was talking to my little brother, we were provided reasons for crying if we were crying for what was deemed inappropriate situations. And then under that mindset, our parents might have been doing the best that they could in regards to the tools that they had access to at the time. So now we're in this generation that's demanding to have their feelings heard and validated fair. Again, you've heard me talk about my daughter in regards to this aspect. I get to be that safe space that she can come confide in, so that she can seek guidance, so that she can hear what she's saying to better understand it and process. Whereas a lot of us, for our parents, that was not the space. And then we got confused about what love was. So essentially, there's some other person in the world that would listen to us, and then they would tell us that they love us. And then boom, we got used for what they wanted and then discarded. And now we're in this stuff. So the biggest aspect that I was talking to my little brother about, again, just solidified this, something that I got to give to myself, but it took 30 some years, and I'm still in the process of working this out. Getting to sit down with your pain and really process your emotions. I want to say for a lot of men, but it could just be people in general, I'm restricting myself from feeling sadness because anger is more comfortable for me to traverse mentally and emotionally. I don't want to get overwhelmed and swept up in the sadness because that is more difficult for me to maneuver in. So I'm going to carry this chip on my shoulder. I'm going to be angry for things that I can't control. I'm going to be angry for things that I'm doing wrong. I'm going to say that I'm angry for things that really might make me sad. For me wanting for something better for somebody else, but them not taking advantage of that opportunity. Really, I'm sad, but I'm angry because I feel more comfortable with that emotion. I'm talking about this, the more that with my little brother, the more that you sit with your emotions and understand the what, why, how, what, why. You might not be able to piece that whole story together every time, but if you try, you might understand how. You might understand why. You might understand what. They might not come out at the same time, but you might catch glimpses of each of those, and that'll help you process. Usually what it's attempting to do is give you a learning opportunity. Let's call emotions learning opportunities. I felt some type of way about the outcome of the situation. It might not have been the best that I wanted, and I really wanted something from this. Learning opportunity. What part did I play in this? What could I have done differently? A lot of us want to avoid the hurt, so we just discard and I never should have dealt with this person to begin with. But there's more to it than that if you process and extrapolate that emotion out. Did I ignore some signs? Did I not communicate something that I should have? Did I overinvest? Was there something that I could have done differently? And then again, processing emotion, usually that's when you'll feel better about it, when you grasp that lesson. And you don't necessarily have to feel bad about it. You can, that's okay. Feeling bad isn't a bad thing. It happens. I was talking to the homegirl at work today, and we were talking about the beauty of life, and what is it? Yo soy es triste porque yo es feliz. I'm happy because I'm sad. Or I'm sad because I'm happy. I think I might have said that backwards. But I get to be happy because I allow myself to be sad. I don't dwell in it. I take it as it comes and I let it pass as it should. But this allows me for a fuller, richer life. Every human being has feelings. You're not supposed to not have feelings. It's part of the human experience. That's what makes it rich, vibrant, and beautiful, wonderful, exciting, you know? But if you're not understanding those emotions, that's where hell can start. Because you're consumed in something that you can't understand. Sometimes you have to have a little help. I was talking to my little brother about this again, where it's like, because I didn't really have a safe place to turn to, again, the nature of my divorce led me back to my father. Because like this is the one person that I knew could at least grasp the concept of what I was dealing with at this particular time. I couldn't turn to my mother. We never had that good communication. There was no safe space. But I can't fault her for that now, because potentially she was never provided that safe space. She's had to survive through everything that she went through. She's had to do the best that she could on her own with whatever tools that she had available. I understand that. It sucked at the time, not understanding that when you're growing up, when you're going in through it. But looking at how I do now, man, so many of our predecessors weren't given these things. This is why it's kind of shitty to be like, well, what do you mean feelings matter now? We just had to get over shit. You know, so again, kind of understanding those emotions, for me, I see manipulation wholly different now. Because it's somebody trying to convey a need that they don't necessarily feel safe communicating, or that they would even know how to. So you can kind of read through it. So like I get to have these fun little chat with work wives, with my daughter, any kind of partners that I might be hanging out with, just any relationship really, where like needs, wants, desires, understood, heard, accepted, valued. I'm getting better at doing all of these things now because I've come to own my own emotional space, and I feel safe with it in and of myself, so I understand better how to provide that space for other people that I might care about. Nothing's taboo. So like, I was talking with the homegirl Turtle about this, you know, how mothers that feel that they've been wronged by relationships with counterparts might lean on their son in a way for some form of stability, which is understandable but also unnatural, because that boy will never be able to provide what the man is capable of if he has that understanding. But then I'm hanging out with my daughter, and like the stuff that we get to do, she looked after her brother at some point this week, and like it was really, really helpful. And then just stuff that we get to do around the house, you know, she helps around the house, you know, but it's like, it's kind of really nonsensical stuff. Most of it's cleaning up her mess because she likes to cook and stuff. So like that, she gets to lean on me, and like we just get to kind of have some, I don't know, safe space to mess around and fuck with each other, you know? Like I really, really, really enjoy hanging out with my kids. My daughter is old enough so that we can exchange that. Again, with any kind of rebelliousness, she has space. She learns boundaries. She's an adulting person. She's an adulting person. She's growing. And like she's got her own friend groups or whatever, you know, but I get to be that safe space for her when she feels. And I love that. And like we tease each other, we mess around, and when there's times to get serious, we go back to it. And like, you know, as far as if you want your child to date somebody like you, like wholeheartedly, because she deserves to have something like that. And I'm glad that I get to give her this space in this particular time, Whereas previously I wasn't on that. I was all authoritative and like, I was on the go. I was on the run. I was in the thick of it. I was on a path to purpose. Because I've served most of that, as far as I'm concerned and desire to, I retired. So I get to enjoy the next 30, 40 years that I got. And then I get to help others understand a little bit better, because maybe I'm not the best at explaining, but I'm willing to discuss it and provide that insight. For my little brother, again, he calls me, I get to be this for my little brother. He called me, expressed his particular situation. Not only is it okay to feel, man, it's okay to take time to process. And then again, the more that you understand yours, other people's weren't going to be too far off. You'll be able to see it better. And you don't need to control, but you can guide. The better you guide yourself through your emotions, the better you might be able to guide somebody else, or at least lead the way. And on that note, Ouija's out.